I don't think I'm blowing any air up your skirt to say you've been at this for a while. You're literally a master aircraft salesman. For the person who is buying their first airplane, give me, in the best couple of minutes you can, the advice you give to somebody contemplating buying their first airplane.
The very first thing I try to tell people about or get to find out about is, what is your mission going to be for the airplane? I have this discussion with virtually everybody I talk to approaches me or I approach to buy an aircraft. Determining what the mission is going to be where you're going to use the airplane 80% of the time. If you want to fly from, I'm going to use St. Augustine, Florida, because that's where we are today. If your average mission is going to be to fly from here to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that's 250 miles away. I did it in my Diamond DA-40 this morning in about an hour and 45 minutes. If I want to go faster, if I want to go 100 miles an hour or 100 knots faster, I can certainly do that in a Mooney Acclaim. That's another airplane that we represent, but it's almost twice as much as the Diamond DA-40. It's going to get you there in 45 minutes, but is that worth the extra $300,000? Depends on the value of your time. If it's only going to be you and a girlfriend or a significant other flying in the airplane 80% of the time, you don't need a six-seater. But if your reason for getting the airplane is so that you can fly your wife and your grandkids and be able to put skis in the airplane, we may be looking at something like a Saratoga, a Cessna 206, or a bigger airplane along those lines.
Something you're not going to stuff in a DA-20.
Something you're not going to stuff in a DA-20. I tell people that all the time, and then come up with a reasonable budget for what you want to do in the airplane. The rule of thumb that I use for operating costs is if the airplane burns 10 gallons of gas an hour and you're paying $5 a gallon at your local airport, now you've got a $50 operating cost at your local airport. Double that figure, and that's going to tell you how much you're going to spend on operating costs in your airplane per year. And that'll include your oil changes, and that'll include your annuals, and that'll include the radio cards or nav cards that you're going to need. And that'll include taking the airplane and getting it washed and waxed and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So figure $100 an hour if you're burning 10 gallons an hour. If you're going to go to a more high-performance airplane, I'll give you an example. You've got a beautiful Cirrus SR-22 out there that's yours. You're going to burn roughly 20 gallons an hour in that particular airplane on a regular basis. So if you're paying $5 an hour, figure about $200 an hour, and look at how often you're going to use it. Is it 100 hours a year? You're going to spend $20,000 to keep that airplane running during a year. You know, buy the best airplane that you can, and don't ever make the following mistake, because you never ever get your money out of it and you're never ever happy with it. Never take an old high-time airplane, redo the engine with it, and then put a new radio stack into it. You will never get your money out of it. And like all pilots, 3 to 4 years is all you're going to hold on to your airplane for, and you're going to want to get something else. When you put $60,000 into your avionics panel into an older airplane and you go to sell it, that $60,000 is gone. Yeah. You'll never get it out. Nobody's going to pay you extra because it's got a Garmin 430 in it, right, because everybody else has one too. So don't make that mistake. Let somebody else put the avionics into the airplane and acquire it the way that you want to.
Aero-TV is brought to you by Freedom Through Innovation. It's what led us to develop Cirrus Flying 2.0, the framework for a bold new take on private aviation. And as a result, the gap between the aircraft we produce and those of our competitors continues to widen. Cirrus knows where the personal aircraft industry is headed. We're already there.